Helen cursed as the Coriolis storm took her small ship and threw it to starboard. Her craft, a Sparrow-class scout, had been tasked with an environmental survey of the Garen system. 3 of the worlds were uninhabitable, with her scanners reporting no real resources to harvest. Ammonia atmosphere, common as dirt. Iron deposits, please. Platinum, useless. The only worthwhile body in this chunk heap was a Class 9 planetoid circling a gas giant. Atmosphere within limits, medium gravity, sensors detected some forests and about a dozen disparate ground lifeforms. The big surprise had been a reading on the northern continent, large veins of tri-titanium ore, traces of selenium and, Zara crystals? Here? She'd have to land and check it out. Fleet engineering would be very, very happy. Her systems had not noticed or detected the upper layer's instability. Violent turbulence and static discharges. Hopefully they'd bottom out at maybe 15,000 feet. Ugh. As she dropped further into the troposphere, static lightning slashed at her cockpit. Her displays flickered, resumed. Using language her mother would have slapped her for, she angled down, hoping to punch through this dense cloud layer. Then a savage tailwind shoved her sideways, sending her into a flat spin. Swearing, sweating, and furious, she recovered. Using obscenities that her mother, her father, and grandfather, and her grandmother would have slapped her for, she forced nose level, finally emerging at low altitude. "Join the scout service," they said. An alarm beeped. "See the stars in all their glory," they said. The alarm cut off. "They ain't paying me enough for this shit!" A low rattling sound alerted her to the stabilizers, one of which was now loose. Where to land? Ah, perfect. Right-hand side. Forest clearing with room to spare. Now to land this thing, if the belly jets haven't been ripped off. Putting the craft into a steep turn, she extended the aerofoils. Manual landing. Not trusting the auto systems after that approach, a sigh of relief escaped her as she landed with ease. Computer, open rear hatch and launch survey probe. Set for full scan, mineral and botanical both. Scan lifeforms, compile biosphere ecology. Upon completion, copy data to ship's core on return. Execute. Working. Then, launch complete. Helen watched the tiny device arrow away through the cryoplast canopy, then keyed the atmosensors. Oxygen, nitrogen, xenon, traces of argonite gas but well within limits. Environment, occasional rainstorms. It will have to do. Exiting, she scrambled to the rear carrier pod. A small block-shaped bot rested inside, didn't look damaged. She hoped. The bot lit up at a voice command. "Scan ship," she snapped. The bot hovered out of his nest, lifted on tiny microgravs, then ran a beam from stem to stern. Damage minimal. Stabilizer, rear thrusters, minor hull breaches. Estimate 4 hours to synthesize parts and complete repair. Acknowledged. Proceed. Compliance. The following hour was taken up with basic routine. Set up hab tent, release 2 stealthed scuttlebugs, 1 for soil samples, 1 for water, and possible sea life forms. Set up weather scanners and a mapping theodolite. And finally, lunch. Coffee had never tasted so good. Out of the corner of her eye, movement. Must have come out of the tree line. Standing slowly, Helen shifted, watching whatever this was carefully. Almost 2 meters long, 6 legs. Purple, almost shiny pelt. It took a step towards her, claws extended. A voice inside her head whispered, "Predator." The head was a nightmare, looking like the petals of a flower, with waving tendrils and 2 mobile eye stalks, the mouth of a cruel, fanged beak. As she watched, some kind of tiny lifeform scurried past, the beast instantly snatching it and devouring at almost snake-like speed. That was the appetizer. She was the main course. Her mind racing, Helen assessed her options. Stun rifle? In the cockpit. Climb in and seal the canopy? No, it would attack the bot. Never taking her eyes off the animal, Helen drew her service knife, moving to the right with the grace of a glance dancer. It followed her unerringly, body low as it stalked its prey. Across maybe 10 meters they studied each other. She lowered her body into a combat crouch, the creature hissing softly as it recognized her posture as an invitation to combat. It lunged forward, claws extended. As it leaped, Helen dropped onto her back, kicked out and felt her boots connect, throwing the animal into the air. Rolling back, she saw it pivot in midair, landing heavily on its feet. They faced each other, the creature wary, taking her measure. Its eye stalks were steady. Two predators faced each other on an alien world, one the result of centuries of evolution and continuous, internecine combat on Earth and amongst the stars, the other a master of its domain, lord of the forests, whom all else feared. On a primitive level, both knew this could only end one way. One would live, one would die. No mercy, no quarter, no surrender. Two predators bred to survive. For a few seconds, the two formed a frozen, silent tableau. Helen could hear her instructor's voice from her first days in combat training. Stay low, centered, keep balance. If they get inside your guard, it's over. Then it moved, this time a low pounce attack, claws extended. Instantly, Helen spun to her right, unleashing a fast spin kick to its midriff. Her foot connected. Her opponent rolled over onto its feet, body low to the ground. Shifting tactics, it attacked from the side, seeking to get past her guard. In passing, its prehensile tail whiplashed sideways. Searing pain exploded at her temples as the attack connected. Blindly, or roaring in her ears, she slashed forward and down, her blade raking the creature's hindquarters. Blood flowed, deep grey and viscous. In that second, Helen realized she had made a fatal mistake. A wounded predator was always the deadliest of enemies. It had been just hungry. Now, it was hungry and pissed. Berserk with rage, it uttered an ear-splitting screech, turned to face her. Rearing on its four back legs, its beak snapped open, tentacles suddenly writhing forward to seize her arms and draw her in for the kill. Instinctively, eyes blurry, she shifted left, pivoting in a half-turn to its rear. Her arm wrapped around its neck in a vice, knife blade flashing as she flipped it over, bringing the pommel down in a crushing blow to its head. Heart pounding, hands quivering with fear and adrenaline, Helen's breath came in gasps as the animal fell at her feet. Her vision started to clear. One thrust would end it all. Her hand lifted the knife, then slowly returned it to its sheath. Something stopped her. A feeling. Memories of wars long past. Faces and names of those who had never come home. No. Killing a helpless enemy was the act of a coward. Kneeling, Helen laid her palm against the creature's heaving sides, feeling its soft, warm fur in her fingers. No, not today. Not like this. She spoke softly, one hand caressing its fur gently. When death comes for you, my friend, you deserve to meet him on your feet. Until next time. Summoning the bot, Helen wrapped the predator's feet in a carry strap, the two of them dragging the unconscious animal back to the tree line. Repairs complete, she lifted off, issuing remote commands for the survey bugs to remain for later pickup. As night fell, the predator stirred, painfully staggering to its feet. Padding to the clearing, it saw the prey was gone, leaving only the acrid smell of burned soil. Staring into the darkened skies, its mouth opened in a defiant screech, then turned and vanished into the forest.